This is Wakana Gojo, a high school student who enjoys tailoring Hina dolls. When he was a child, he was raised by his grandfather, who also inspired him to follow in his grandfather's footsteps and make Hina dolls. Because Gojo's hobby is playing with girl dolls, he doesn't have any friends at school. One day, he meets a popular girl named Marin Kitagawa, who is super cheerful, has a lot of friends, and is popular at school, so Gojo believes they live in a completely different world than her. After school, Gojo assists his friends with cleaning duties, at which point Kitagawa appears and assists him in cleaning up the classroom. When she asks where the others are, he says he wants to be a reliable person, but she tells him he is being used. As a result, she encourages him to think more deeply and express his feelings. When he wants to sew his dolls, the sewing machine cannot be used because it is too old, so the next day he sews in the sewing practice room. While Gojo is enjoying his time, Kitagawa enters the room unexpectedly, surprising both of them. His doll suddenly flies away, and Gojo successfully catches it and asks her if she's okay, making the situation even more awkward. Instead of laughing at him, Kitagawa is impressed by Gojo's tailoring skills. She also compliments his doll's beauty, which makes him happy. When he reveals that he wants to make a doll's clothes, she unexpectedly removes her school uniform and shows him her cosplay outfit of the video game character she has been working on. Kitagawa expresses her love for her favorite manga, anime, and video game characters through cosplay, which she views as the greatest form of love, so she begs Gojo to make her a Shizuku cosplay outfit. As a result, Gojo accepts and gives it his all, despite the fact that he has never made clothes for a real person before, which excites her. She then tells Gojo that she wants to cosplay as Shizuku from Slippery Girls 2 in the game she's playing. While Kitagawa is happily discussing her interests, he notices that she appears to be having a good time. She also explains that when you really like something, gender doesn't matter, to which he completely agrees. Kitagawa also shows him an instruction booklet for making cosplay outfits, which is extremely useful. The next day, Kitagawa unexpectedly arrives at Gojo's house, which she immediately enters and goes to his room. Gojo feels awkward asking her for her cosplay outfit measurement, but she reveals that she wears a bathing suit. When he asks if she finds it embarrassing, she says it's for cosplay. So he slaps his face and begins to do it professionally. After finishing taking measurements on Kitagawa, Gojo asks her for references on Miss Slippery because he wants to know the details of her outfit so he can draw up the patterns. So, she gives him both of the Slippery Girls video games. Later that night, Gojo plays the game for research purposes and takes notes on the details. Following that, Gojo dreams that he has finished making Kitagawa's outfit, which makes her excited and makes her feel like the character she has admired. When he wakes up, he realizes it was all a dream. When he is walking through the school hallways, Kitagawa runs into him and thanks him for his assistance in getting Shizuku's outfit finished. Because of the previous incident in his house, Gojo feels awkward and avoids her for most of the day. Finally, when she finds him, she invites him to go shopping with her, but Gojo declines and flees. However, she manages to find him and chastises him for avoiding her. He admits that most people notice their closeness, so Gojo believes that if there are a lot of people around, they shouldn't be so close. Hearing his explanation, she refuses and assures him that they are friends. When they arrive at the shopping mall, Gojo shows Kitagawa the complete design of Shizuku's outfit, which impresses her. So they go to several stores to get the materials for the cosplay outfit. When Kitagawa takes him to the wig shop, she mismatches Shizuku's hair color and thanks him for correcting her, which makes Gojo feel useful. When they finish their dinner at the ramen shop, they embarrass themselves and cause concern among the other customers by discussing the Slippery Girls games. On their way back home, Gojo tells her that he will draw up the pattern. Kitagawa also tells him about a cosplay event where most of the cosplayers pose for photo shoots and post them on social media. When Kitagawa shows her some photos of the cosplayers, she notices him being silent, and he reveals that only Hina dolls can make him feel special. Since then, he believes that the word beautiful should not be used lightly. Kitagawa, on the other hand, doesn't mind his statement and thanks Gojo for assisting her with the cosplay outfit. Before they part ways, Kitagawa mentions an upcoming cosplay event in 2 weeks, which Gojo notices that he doesn't have much time for. When Gojo arrives home, his grandfather appears and inquires about the item he purchased. The shopping bag suddenly collapses, revealing a pair of stockings, shocking him and causing him to collapse. So, he rushes his grandfather to the hospital, where he meets his elder cousin, Miori. At school, Gojo tells Kitagawa about the accident, and she tells him that she wants to help him in any way she can, so they exchange contact information. When they see the exam schedules on the announcement board, Gojo realizes he needs to divide his time between studying, visiting her grandfather, and making the outfit. Suddenly, a local tour guide wants to do a tour of his workshop the next day, adding another problem to his deadline. So he decides to do everything at once: study for the exam, visit his grandfather, tour his doll's workshop, and make Kitagawa's cosplay outfit. A tired Gojo awakens and feels sick as a result of all the tasks he had to complete, but he realizes that he hasn't finished the outfit. He realizes he's a failure and recalls his conversation with his grandfather, for which he's grateful to see his customer's happiness despite his poor condition. So, in order to make her happy, he wakes up his tired body to finish the outfit. The next day, Kitagawa is surprised when he finishes Shizuku's cosplay outfit. However, she realizes that she didn't explicitly state that she intended to attend tomorrow's cosplay event. So, Gojo is relieved to know that he still has plenty of time to finish the outfit, which causes her to cry and apologize for what he has been through. He tries to calm her down by telling her that she should put it on her outfit if she is pleased with the outcome. After she finishes putting on the makeup and outfit, Gojo compliments her on being a perfect Shizuku, which makes her happy. Even though he forgets to make it comfortable, Kitagawa is still pleased with every detail that he creates. Gojo photographs her dressed as Shizuku, but he believes she looks more like Kitagawa than Shizuku. So she starts posing like Shizuku and starts posting on her social media. The next day, Kitagawa invites Gojo to a cosplay event, where they see a lot of cosplayers. Later, a group of photographers approaches her and invites her to a photo shoot, which excites her. While Kitagawa is having a good time, Gojo begins to wonder if this is the last time they will hang out together since he has kept his promise. He's also grateful to have met her because everything that has happened to him has been his first experience. When Kitagawa finishes her photo shoot, she informs him that she needs to remove her dress due to the extreme heat. So Gojo immediately takes her to a cooler location and searches for ways to deal with the heat. After she feels relieved and better, they return to the plaza one last time to meet a lady who had asked for a photo earlier. When they return home together, Gojo thanks her for her wonderful experience, which she also had. She also asks what they should do for her next cosplay, and he expresses his desire to work with her again. Because they've been having so much fun today, a drowsy Gojo tells her she's very beautiful, which stuns her because Gojo only says beautiful when he feels it in his heart. When his grandfather returns home, he sees Gojo and Kitagawa together, which surprises him. After they clear up the misunderstanding, Gojo and his grandfather examine the outfit's details, while Kitagawa realizes she has fallen in love with him. Soon after, they all gather at his house for dinner. She also informs them of her family's situation, in which she lives alone and consumes unhealthy foods. As a result, Gojo's grandfather invites her to dinner. The next day, Gojo's grandfather sees a young girl named Sejuna Inui, who is drenched in rain, and invites her inside, thinking she is Gojo's friend. When Gojo returns home, he accidentally runs into her in his bathroom, which irritates her. Following that, she informs him that she wishes to see the outfit he creates, which leads him to believe that she wishes to see Hina dolls. When Gojo takes her around the Hina dolls, she scolds him for not showing her Kitagawa's outfit. She also tells him that she wants to order a cosplay outfit, revealing herself to be Juju, the cosplayer whom Kitagawa had previously mentioned to him. When Kitagawa arrives, she is taken aback by Juju's presence. Later, Juju requests that Gojo recreate Cheyenne's Black Lily outfit from Flower Princess Blaze. When Juju asks why Kitagawa doesn't want to cosplay as Cheyenne, she responds that Cheyenne's appearance doesn't match hers. Before she leaves, Juju clarifies that she asked Gojo's contact for the outfit details because she believes they are both datings, which they are not. Kitagawa suddenly expresses her desire to cosplay as Neon Onitama as Black Lobelia and invites Juju to join her in a group cosplay. Unfortunately, she refuses to work with other cosplayers because she only wants to cosplay for herself. When she plans to rent a studio for a photo shoot, Kitagawa offers to split the studio fees, which she realizes are expensive to rent. After she does some thinking and calculating, Juju allows her to come along just this once, which she is excited about. Gojo also intends to watch the anime first in order to understand the materials for the character, and Kitagawa offers him the entire DVD set from her. Later that night, his grandfather compliments him on his progress and encourages him to continue creating cosplay outfits and makeup for Kitagawa. He also advises him that if he wants to be a great doll maker, he should observe other things besides the dolls. The next day, Gojo arrives at Kitagawa's apartment, where he is surprised to see her bare face. When she finally lets him in, she invites him to watch the series with her. When she shows him her bedroom, he is surprised to see it decorated with slippery girls. While watching the series with him, Kitagawa realizes she is having a home date with him and is happy because he can be alone with Gojo, and she wishes it could last forever. Because she hasn't eaten anything since this morning, she insists on cooking a home-cooked meal for them. So she intends to make an omurice with love, but it doesn't turn out as she had hoped. When Gojo tries her cooking, he enjoys her omurice, which makes her happy. Back at his house, Gojo calls Juju and sends her detailed sketches of Cheyenne's Black Lily outfit, which she finds impressive. He also wonders how Juju changes the width of her eyelids, to which she replies that she uses cosplay tape and applies it as she pleases. Before they hang up, she explains that her younger sister will handle the group cosplay photos and agrees to show him how to use the camera at a restaurant. When Kitagawa and Gojo meet at the restaurant, Juju introduces her younger sister, Shinju Inui. She shows them some of her previous photographs, which Kitagawa adores. Juju also reveals that she is the creator of her account and the inspiration for her cosplay name. Shinju later shows them her camera and begins explaining the difference between using a smartphone and a camera. Kitagawa abruptly asks her why she doesn't do cosplay, to which she replies that she refuses and prefers to take pictures only. In the meantime, Gojo attempts to check the price of the camera's equipment, which surprises him because it is very expensive. Following that, the group goes to the studio's location, which is at an abandoned hospital. While Shinju is explaining the importance of backlighting to Kitagawa, Gojo notices that Juju is afraid of the studio. So Gojo asks her to wait at the entrance, but she refuses and tells him about her future dream of becoming a magical girl. When Gojo asks why she chose him to make the outfit, she reveals that she fell in love with it at first sight and that he feels envious of her. Hearing this, he is moved and recalls his grandfather telling him about being people's first love sight. As a result, he grabs her hand and thanks her for praising his work, causing her to pass out. After they finish their final exams, Kitagawa invites Gojo to the beach. When they arrive, a large sea hawk steals Kitagawa's burger, which they eventually share while enjoying the beach view. Suddenly, she rushes to the shore to soak her feet and invites him to join her. When he joins her, he reveals that he never got to see other places because he spent his childhood practicing making Hina dolls. So Kitagawa invites him to visit many places during their summer vacation, just the two of them. She then excuses for her thirst and blushes for inviting him. While Gojo is having fun at the beach, she secretly takes a picture of him. Later, Juju dresses up in Cheyenne's Black Lily outfit, which she looks absolutely gorgeous in. Meanwhile, Kitagawa is dressed in her Black Lobelia outfit, which she appears to genuinely love. Soon after, they both wait for Gojo and Shinju in the abandoned hospital. While they wait, Kitagawa asks Juju to pose for a picture, which she gladly accepts. When Gojo arrives, he successfully stuns them by revealing Shinju's male cosplay outfit. Shinju previously confirmed Gojo's concern that she wanted to cosplay after they left the hospital. She revealed her desire to cosplay as Soma, a cool male character from Flower Princess Blaze, but she is afraid of looking strange. So Gojo agreed to assist her, but Shinju doesn't have the funds to participate in cosplay. So he took her to his shop and lent her his school uniform. Unfortunately, Shinju's body does not fit into his school's uniform. So Gojo thought of a way to transform Shinju's body into that of a man's appearance, and he had the brilliant idea to use Sarashur cloth. As a result, she appears much better, but the shirt still highlights her curves. So, they discovered a beholder, which flattens her chest. Gojo then put on Shinju's wig and makeup. Back in the present, Juju and Kitagawa admire Shinju's cosplay outfit and invite everyone to a group photo. They also start to do a solo shot around the hospital. Later, Juju thanks him for looking after Shinju's cosplay. She also admits that she is unaware that she has a crush on that character and that she is failing as her older sister. Gojo disagrees with her statement and tells her that Shinju should encourage herself to say what she likes, to which he can relate. Meanwhile, during Kitagawa's photo shoot, she notices Shinju's beholder has broken. After returning home, Juju and Shinju see the results of today's photo shoot. She also tells Shinju that she is jealous of her cosplay because she is too short to cosplay as Black Lobelia. So, Shinju expresses her happiness by promising her that when she enters high school, she will look for a part-time job and save money to do cosplay again. Even though they prefer solo photo shoots, they have a lot of fun. Meanwhile, Kitagawa calls Gojo and compliments him on his makeup skills for Shinju's cosplay. When she asks where they prepare the cosplay, he reveals that they both work together at his house, which makes her jealous. Following that, Kitagawa expresses her desire to cosplay as Veronica, a dark-skinned character, and Gojo confidently creates the outfit in a short amount of time. So they agree to participate in the cosplay. When Kitagawa arrives, Gojo is blown away by her tan skin, which turns out to be a foundation. After she takes a bath, she shows him some items she bought earlier for her next cosplay. Gojo also gives her some fake nails to put on her teeth to make her appear more natural. The next day, Kitagawa takes Gojo to the clothing store with the intention of dressing him up. When he tries on some clothes in the fitting room, she can't decide which outfit she likes best. Finally, Kitagawa selects a t-shirt couple for them both, which excites her. Walking back home, Kitagawa tells Gojo that she wants to cosplay as Veronica as soon as possible, but Gojo refuses and asks her to do it without him. He nervously tells her that her cosplay outfit is too revealing, so she pulls him aside and teases him that she will send a photo of her Veronica's cosplay, which embarrasses him. Afterward, Kitagawa invites Gojo to go to a manga cafe to cool off from the heat. Gojo is embarrassed because she is so close to him. Then she suggests her favorite slice-of-life manga to him, which makes her want to cosplay as Liz the Tsukuba Heart. However, she is unsure whether she can pull off the character. Gojo, on the other hand, believes she looks fantastic as Liz in cosplay, which makes her blush. Before returning home, Gojo asks her to go to a bookstore to buy her manga. Later, Kitagawa discovers a perfect photo studio to cosplay as Liz near his house, which turns out to be a love hotel. While Kitagawa gets dressed, a nervous Gojo tries to relax by watching TV, but none of the shows are appropriate to watch. Kitagawa feels strange after applying makeup and accessories, but Gojo reassures her that she, like Liz, is hoping to escape the manga. He also requests that he recreate some scenes. While they are recreating some of Liz's poses, Gojo feels something is missing, and he realizes that he needs the main character's point of view. So she ends up sitting on top of Gojo to get the perfect shot, and the photo turns out to be perfect. Gojo hears a sound from the other room, which causes him to snap and try to get her off. When he grabs her waist, her phone falls, and accidentally turns off the lights. As a result, they stare at each other and almost kiss, but a phone hotel interrupts them to inform them that their rent time is up. Back at home, Gojo can't stop thinking about her. While Gojo is concentrating on painting Hina, he receives a message from Kitagawa, in which she requests his assistance. When she asks Gojo to help her with her hair ribbons, he learns that her father cancelled her invitation to a summer festival because she had not completed her homework. She also admits to taking on too many part-time jobs, including becoming a magazine model in order to save money for a super expensive camera. Then she invites him to see a horror film, which Gojo appears to enjoy while Kitagawa is scared. After they have finished watching, they go to their school to get her math drills. Kitagawa spots a swimming pool on their way home and decides to stop by. When she tries to dip her foot, she drowns because she cannot swim. So Gojo jumps into the pool to save her. When Kitagawa finishes her homework, she invites Gojo to the festival. When he arrives, Gojo is stunned by her beautiful yukata, and he admits that she is beautiful, which excites her. So they begin strolling around the festival, where they end up buying far too much. When the fireworks start, Gojo and Kitagawa watch them together. Gojo is excited because he usually watches the fireworks alone in his room every year, but this year he gets to watch them with Kitagawa. Later, Kitagawa's feet are bruised from walking in sandals, so he decides to carry her back home with him. When Gojo is about to call it a night, Kitagawa unexpectedly calls him, and she wants to hear his voice because she appears to be scared after watching another horror film alone. When she takes a bath, she believes there is a ghost in her bathroom and she screams. So they talk about their enjoyable summer vacation and Gojo falls asleep. Before she hangs up the phone, Kitagawa finally tells him that she loves him. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching.